we saw a sort of a glimpse of it last year, was Jack Todd. Big fan of Jack Todd. I think Jack Todd for us.
Jack Underhill.
I think.
I honestly think Jack Underhill not playing last year was probably a blessing. He's another year older, a year stronger, a year wiser, a year fitter. Leo Thompson, he's a 40-minute player, 40 to 50-minute player. That's all he needs to be. He'll give you a good 15, 20-minute stints.
You don't think
that's perfect for you guys?
Hello and welcome back to the Kennel for 2026. As you guys can see, there's been some changes and we have been away for a couple of months working very, very hard to bring you guys a studio, to bring you guys some good content. And this year, boy, do we have a lot of content and a lot of good stuff lined up. But as you can see, and as I mentioned, we're in our own studio now. So we will be coming to you guys every single day. We'll be doing multiple shows a week. We're going to be doing so much content. You know, without further ado, I have to welcome back Dibbo to the podcast. And our new guest host, Zatar. You may have seen him before on the podcast. You may have seen him in some of the videos, but now he's officially become a part of the podcast. So let me just say quickly, boys, welcome back to 2026. How you been?
Oh, good.
Yeah?
Good off season.
Excited for the year?
Of course, every time. Every time the season prolongs.
Zatar, how do you feel part of the coming off the bench now, being part of the starting side?
Feel excited. Been lurking in the comments for a long time, watching the lives, dropping some shady news, news that's not quite reliable. So some of the guys over there will recognize me as the Oracle. But looking forward for this year.
The dodgy Oracle, so to speak.
Oracle. Yeah, just make it up and see if I can get some bites.
All right. It's exciting stuff, guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to get straight into it because we haven't released content for a while. Now, you know, in the off season, life gets busy. Sometimes we get burnt out. So for me personally, there was just a big load, both from a personal perspective and from a podcast perspective. So I did take a step back, made a lot of plans. As you can see, we got a studio. And so the idea is I'm never leaving you guys again. I'm back. We're back and we're staying. We're here for the long haul. And as you guys know, there's a lot of different topics that have happened over the course of the off season that we haven't really discussed. Right. So I want to tackle a few of these topics, right? Because I think there needs to be some discussion had, right? Now, the first thing I want to talk about is this thing right here, the new Bulldogs logo, right? Now, I've got two Doggies supporters and an outsider, a Dragons supporter. I'm going to start with the Dragons supporter. Dibba, I want your opinion. This logo is so hated. People hate this logo so much. What are your thoughts, man, as a supporter of the Dragons?
I think it'll grow on people. I mean, obviously, there's always people resistant to change. You know, they want the same thing, like the same thing for a while. The Dogs have changed their logos over the years. So what they'll do is they'll go run with this new logo for a while, 10, 15 years. It's looking more welcoming, more better every time I look at it. They'll run with this, and then maybe in 20 years, one of the old logos, they'll bring it off the shelf, they'll tweak it again and put it back in. It'll be nostalgic and, you know, it'll sell, you know.
Yeah, they'll probably redo it for the 100th year anniversary or whatever
exactly.
it is.
I think your 100th year's coming in 9 years. There you go. So you in the 100th year it'll be a nostalgic one.
Yeah.
I think it'll be incorporating all the logos. You'll see the CB in there, the Canterbury Berries. You'll see the remember the old original dog logo where it was the dog on four paws. Yeah. They'll probably detail it finer. So they might just bring that back, you know, and yeah, it's growing on people. It looks better than when they first released it. I mean, I got to say, when they first released it, I'm like, what was wrong with their current one? But hey, look, they refine it.
But there was some real hate. Like there were people who were like, bro, I'm never buying anything with this. Like, what are we doing? We're a joke. You know, the 2025 one was so nice. It was commemorating all the different logos, and then they've gone to this. I have some strong thoughts on this, and I don't think many people will agree to me.
The more I look at it, the more it's grown on me.
What do you reckon? You had some choice words about the logo when it first came out.
I wasn't too
it's grown on you, hasn't it?
Within like 24, 48 hours. The first 48 hours were rough. I thought it was AI slop to start off with.
It's actually not AI.
I think it was more the commentary online. Once you started avoiding that and actually looking at the logo and seeing how it sits on the jersey, much better than your logo.
Yeah, but bro, why are you saying 24 to 48 hours? You hated on it for months. I was telling you, I think it looks all right, and you hated on it for months.
Yeah, but like the seeds of growth started to come in like after 48 hours. But the 24 hours, the first 24 hours was
Like, I don't know if the camera can get that in, but I look at that logo. That is rubbish when you look at that. But they won a premiership.
Yeah, but that's a premiership.
No, but hang on. But that's a very early 2000s sort of design,
Yeah, and it
right?
looks
Before the
mean.
digital design and vector
Now
graphics
you
really
look at-
took off.
Now you look at it, you think it's cartoony, it looks rubbish, but at the time it kind of like looked mean, and this one looks mean. So
Nah,
it's
I
good.
love that. I love that logo.
No, it's good.
Favorite.
It looks
That's my
mean.
favorite.
All right, I'm going to ask you guys, what do you guys think of the 2004 logo when we won the premiership? Leave your comment down below because Dibbo thinks it looks rubbish. I actually
Compared
love
to
that.
this, it looked
It's
rubbish.
true, but this is vector. This is
No,
designed with a purpose.
But this is good because I'll tell you why. Now I look at it that, and the more I see the purpose, that looked mean for the time. This looks mean for the time. So
Look, I agree with that.
it's actually it grow. The more you think about it, and the more you look at it, it's growing.
So I actually have two things to say about the logo, right? First and foremost, as soon as it was released, everybody was hating on it. And I was just like, I actually don't mind. Do you remember I told you? I said, I don't mind that. And you bagged me out. I was like, I don't mind the logo at all. I was actually very, very, very keen on the logo. I thought, it's different. It's a bit of a change, and it's changing the culture. It's trying to appeal to the 25 and under, the Generation X or whatever it is. And I thought it looked good. The other thing I said, and I don't know if you remember, I said this to you. I said it looks like a college football logo.
Look, commercial,
Like an NFL logo.
It does. It
Right?
does. College.
And when you look at the Las Vegas clothes that they've released, the varsity jacket, the hoodie, the hockey hoodie and all that, the logo looks fantastic. It actually looks like it was designed for this purpose. And honestly, I remember making the comment, 2-3 months ago, and I was like, this is going to work well when they start releasing more and more merchandise that's actually based around the logo. So I think it's a great logo. It's definitely growing on me. Look, it's a change. And I honestly think, mark my words, in 5 to 10 years, as more and more clubs go to Vegas, as Vegas becomes more and more a part of, I guess, the NRL moving forward, more and more clubs are going to start adopting this college football style logo, and we'll come back and we'll be like, okay, the Bulldogs were ahead of their time.
I just think commercially, it's a smart move because they're looking for revenue. I mean, I don't think anyone does. Maybe the Brisbane Broncos, but other than that, I don't think anyone sells more merchandise than the Dogs. And you think about it, the Broncos are effectively still a one city team because everyone that supports Redcliffe also supports the Broncos,
Yeah, Queensland's the only.
Yes, Queenslanders are inbred. I hope you're all watching this. Bunch of inbreds.
Especially you, Jamie.
Sorry, Jamie, but no, excluding Jamie because he supports the Dogs. He supports the Bulldogs. So excluding Jamie Teasdale,
Actually, you mentioned the Brisbane logo. What do you guys think of the Brisbane logo?
rubbish.
Seriously?
Rubbish. Is that a horse or a donkey? I couldn't decide. Honestly.
Wise words from Divo.
I looked at it, I go, at least make it more finer detail. Look at it. It's like somebody just got Microsoft Paint and put two squiggly legs this way.
Can I be honest with
Honestly,
you?
look at it.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
I love the Brisbane logo. I love the new logo. I actually think it looks
I didn't like
fantastic.
I did not like it.
I wasn't a big
what?
fan. I didn't think they needed to change it after winning the premiership. I thought they would have held on.
They want to start a new era, and they will because I think they'll lose a fair bit of players after this year. Some will retire and some will go. Anyway.
I don't know. I really like the Brisbane logo. I don't like Brisbane.
I'll look at it again. Like I said, the Dogs logo grew on me the more I looked at it. And the more I look at it, I think, yeah, okay, and there's a reason. The Brisbane one, maybe I haven't looked at it enough. But it might grow on me. Huh?
Merch looks.
Oh, look, I'm looking
It's
at it now.
fantastic.
It's the first time I've actually seen
If
it.
you guys haven't seen the new Vegas stuff that they've released, go check it out and go check out the Vegas warm-up tee. Honestly, we've seen some great stuff coming out over the last 24 months. Like the Broncos black dog jersey, the
I think
the Cowboys heritage
what, that
jersey.
training jersey, has that been released? Isn't that for Pride Round or something?
No, it's on pre-sale.
Do we look like Mandy, bro? Come on.
Oh, that's what I initially thought.
Nah,
Anyways,
bro. Calm down, bro. Calm down. Leave your woke garbage out of the podcast, please. But no, look, the tee looks fantastic. Like I think I bought 3 of them. Like it's so nice. It looks fantastic.
God,
That's the
spare me.
first thing. The Vegas stuff that they've designed as well, I think is just. It's better than any other team has brought out for Vegas. Like a lot of the Vegas stuff I found is like they're putting the US logo or like they're putting the Las Vegas, the sign, the neon signs or whatever.
I don't even know if the Dragons ever released anything
But
for Vegas.
yeah, exactly right.
Dragons,
have released their
just that jersey, but that's sold out twice over.
It's a great jersey. It's a
It
beautiful
is.
jersey, right? But the Bulldogs
Oh.
excess merchandise is actually beautiful.
They've even done a hockey jersey. Look,
Wow, we're gonna have to check it out. What we'll do is we'll leave a link to both those down in the description. So if you guys want to check them out yourselves, feel free to do so. A lot of it is selling out. It's all on pre-order now as well. So, and actually today the Bulldog store in Belmore reopened. They've given the place a new coat of paint. Go and check it out. But look, okay, so we've spoken about logos. I think I believe it's a good logo. I'm so excited for the year now. 2026, we're going to talk about it. We're going to preview it. But I want to talk for 5 or 10 minutes just about the 2025 season, right? That season ended in heartbreak in some ways, but in other ways, I think the way it ended was very exciting. Very, very exciting for me as a Bulldogs supporter. But before I give my opinion, I want to start with you actually, Zatar. I want to see what you bring to the table in terms of the 2025 opinion. What were your thoughts on that? The way the season ended, and actually, just overall. Now, please tell us lies.
So from the start of the season, I didn't think we had the cattle to win the premiership. We had long conversations, a lot of times with a few different boys, a few different pundits, I should say.
Did it end up in tears and bruises and
no tears,
punch-ons?
The last game, excluding the last game, I thought overall was a good season. I thought the coaching staff had to experiment with our spine. I didn't think our spine had what it takes to bring us a premiership. We might end up discussing it in more detail as you probe, but I don't think the Galvin situation is what undid the Bulldogs, as many pundits out there seem to think. I think we were redlining quite early. With the cattle that we've got, I thought we were redlining quite early. We started off really strong, and then we just started to, every game felt like it was an origin game just to get the 2 points. And we weren't versing anyone great. The Canberra game was a highlight of the season for me. Like, we played really well. And then it was after that, it might have been just before that we got smashed by the Broncos up in Queensland. After winning 6 straight or 7 straight, we go to Queensland. Bit of wet weather, and we lost all our discipline. And I think we copped like a total of 10 games of suspensions. And then it was just like...
that was excessive.
I don't know. It was like UFC knee straight to the head. Like, it should have been a send-off, not even just a sin bin. But, like, regardless of that, that's where we started to... I don't want to say we hit our peak. I don't think we've hit our peak as a club yet. I don't think we've got there yet. But we started to go a bit downhill from there. Origin came around. We were Origin affected. The most Origin affected we've been in years.
That's a great point, yeah.
And then we just couldn't get it back. We couldn't get it back. And then that's the same time Galvin came into the team. But as much as I love Sexton, I don't think we're going to get there anyway. I think our spine still needs a bit of work for this season. We'll get into that. But where we ended up, I thought the Melbourne game that we both went down to, I thought that was I hate using the word brave. It was a good game, like really good game. We were injury infected. Like, it was a disastrous first 10 minutes.
Could have won.
We could have won.
Probably should have won, yeah.
Like, kick out going out, and then Crichton getting injured, and Tuala freak sniper breaking tibia or whatever it was in the last 10, 15 minutes. He was actually playing and then had to come off. Like, they had to pull him off, which it was a good game. It was a good game. It only leaves you thinking, what if? Like, if we had won that game, would we be able to... I think we would have been the Sharks. Like, to be quite honest, I don't think the Sharks were that threatening. But I just feel like we were redlining way too early in the season. And those changes in the spine, I honestly think coaching staff had earmarked, like, they needed to do something about it, which is why we jumped on Galvin so quick.
To be really honest, I actually don't think we were redlining early. I don't think that was our problem. I think we were performing consistently for the first year, but we weren't, like, the way we were performing, it wasn't like we looked like we were getting tired or copping injuries. What I think people underestimate, and you mentioned it briefly, is just how affected we were by Origin, right? And that was when the turn started to happen and we lost leadership. And I think that's the problem that the Dogs had in that middle period during Origin that really affected us, right? If you look at, the Rabbitohs game, right, when the game was paused because of the lightning storm, we were leading, we were playing the best attack we had played with Galvin and Sexton there. And then when we came back on, I feel like we lost our discipline and we lost our leadership and we almost lost that game. Right, we ended up winning by 2 or 4 points. Similarly, in the Broncos game, we were smashing them in the first half and they came back to beat us. We just lacked that leadership to hold on to the leads that we had. And Crichton wasn't there. And I think there's too much of a key man dependency on Crichton being the leader, right? And we sort of saw that in Melbourne as well, in that when Crichton sort of wasn't there, I think there were moments that we could have taken we could have done a bit more, especially on his edge. And his leadership just wasn't there to help us in attack and in defense. And the other thing, mentioned Origin, we had 5 players out, right? Every game we had 5 players out. And Kiraz, when he came back, he went to the Blues to train for Game 3, and then his training with the team was also affected. I think, to be honest, we performed, I think, about as good as we should have with the cattle that we've got. I didn't think we were going to win the premiership in 2025, but I also believed in the miracle, right? I believed in the miracle because they were going so well. You know, was it 6 in a row, 7 in a row? Then we went up to Brisbane and got smashed, and we were humbled and things like that. But I did believe in that miracle, which is why I was like, you know, Dogs this, Dogs that. But what I will say is, showed very clearly 2 things. We have a very small forward pack that we need to improve on, which we have with Leo Thompson, and Salmon should not be at lock. Like, I don't want to sit here and target a player, and clearly the team loves him, just like they love Jake Turpin. Like, cool, you're a Bulldog, I support you and everything, but it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. Like, yeah, I can't make sense of it, but it's clear that we have a very small forward pack and we need big boppers. And so we'll talk about 2026 and who we think is going to debut and stuff like that. But it was clear that our weakness were the props. I don't actually even think the weakness was the back line. You mentioned that it wasn't Galvin. I think, look, Galvin and everything surrounding Galvin had an effect. But I also think dropping Sexton because of Galvin was also very big. It was huge, right? Because everybody wants to pin the blame on Galvin. I actually thought he played very good, tried very hard. And he had 100% effort every single game. You cannot deny the amount of effort and skill he had. And to be really honest with you, this is a big hot take, massive hot take, but I'm going to put it out there. Ciraldo should not have brought Sexton back for the Panthers game. I think Burden should have stayed at 6, Galvin should have stayed at 7. That's my hot take. And I think if you look at Sexton's involvements in that Penrith game, I think he had like 3 tackles, 2 missed, or something stupid like that. Like, I don't remember what the numbers, but they were so poor. I think he kicked the ball once. He threw like 5 passes. Like, he wasn't there. This guy's supposed to be everyone's, why'd you drop Sexton this? Why'd you drop Sexton that? Sometimes I feel like we want to criticize because there's change, but we don't really realize that the change was necessary. So, looking back on it in retrospective, in hindsight, I think Ciraldo will look back and say, I should not have brought Sexton on. I probably should have kept Sexton off and stuck to my guns. I think we would have done better against the Panthers. But having said that, they tore our edges to shreds. It's like we've got to defend. But again, I'll go back and say, I think Ciraldo made a big mistake. I think it was very bad. It was a strategic error. Because there were so many changes made for that Panthers game. The whole backline was different. He started to Tili Tupanua at prop, which is a great move. But so many changes for such a big game, the team just did not gel. And we rely on systems, and our systems were not in place because of the changes that were made. So, look, I actually wasn't too disappointed with 2025. I think it's an experimental year. The other thing that I will say about 2025, and it's something that comes across quite obviously, is that the team that exists today, I don't think it's the full team that Ciraldo himself wants. If we look at it honestly, it's not the full team that Ciraldo wants. So we know that, obviously, the lock, I forgot what his name is, sorry. The one that signed with Perth. The Bulldogs. Oh. He plays prop. Oh, I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. He came from the Warriors. No. What is wrong with us?
He wears the headgear.
Are you guys serious? How are we forgetting who it is?
Yeah, he wears the headgear. Jeez, I've forgotten his name.
Curran. Yeah, Josh Curran. I'm so sorry, bro. If you ever see this, we're dogs. Like, yeah, sorry. Yeah, so Josh Curran signed with Perth, right? Even though I thought he was a Ciraldo signing, we're starting to see Ciraldo make moves to really re-establish the team as he wants it and as he sees fit for the next 26-27 season. So, there's still so much that I think will change in our team. Debo, what are your thoughts on the Dogs 2025?
We can both agree there's the regular season and the finals. They're 2 different seasons, right? So, to me, the Dogs are regular season one of the better sides. They are well-disciplined. They're well-drilled. They're going to give you a good regular season. But as the final, and I touched on this last year, as the final start approaching, because they'll get through their sets better, they'll get their, they'll give you better effort throughout each game and more consistent, very consistent. They remind me of sides in the past growing up, like Brian Smith coach sides. They'll be great in the regular season, and then the finals, they might make a run, but they'll either lose the grand final or they'll get out at a certain stage. Looking at the squad, I thought, they were definitely improved. Just the way that Ciraldo was coaching And it reminded me of Phil Gould used to coach in that sort of style. Like, they'll do all your basics better than everyone, you know? Hit-ups, lines, whatnot. But looking at the players' ability, I thought, not as good as some other squads, but they'll finish ahead of them because they're not as complacent. You know, like, they won't fall off there. You know, they'll give you a good maybe 6 months. And I was almost there, you know, but when it comes to finals, it's a whole new ball game. Yeah. You know, even in that run to the finals, the last 6 weeks or 8 weeks, you know, once you've cleared Origin and a few weeks after that, year in, year out, you see it. You know, you start seeing sides getting reeled in, you know, or pegged back, basically. And I've got to agree with Elmo. I don't think Galvin was a problem whatsoever. If anything, I think this guy's going to be, I hope he has a gun season. If he doesn't have a gun season this year, it'll be next year. You know, but because how old is he, 20?
Yeah. 20
you know, and he's growing his body and he's got so much improvement to make. But it's whether the side can improve around him, you know. And this is a guy I think that can play a rep and challenge for Daily M and, you know, he's got a few things. But where's his right position? I think 5'8".
I agree. I think the Panthers game showed that.
You know, like, it's just... And then, obviously, Elmo touched on, you know, this is not his final squad. How does he manage it? You're going to lose players, whether purposely or not purposely, but at the same time, he wants to... Obviously, he's got players coming through. He wants to free up cap space. He wants to retain them. And then also, he wants to try keep players that other clubs will try to entice. And then there's also, he wants to try buy players from other clubs. You get me? Mm-hmm. So... I did say I thought the Dogs would make the preliminary final. They weren't far off. Well, they should. They finished what? They finished on the regular table, third or second?
Third.
They were in a position to make a preliminary. They went from sixth the previous year to third. Fantastic. I had them coming fourth, if you remember.
Yeah, that's right.
In the regular season.
I think I had them coming first.
I don't think they're... I think they improve again this year. This year, I think they can make the preliminary final. Like, should make the preliminary final. You know, they got rid of, they'll be better next year. It's just, you know, they got rid of a bit of deadwood there this year. I'm sure they have. Well, you signed Leo Thompson. That's a positive. He'll be a lot better for you guys. He played in a poor Newcastle side. But, yeah, I just think the Dogs, they're almost where they should have been. You know, no one should be negative.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think
like you're lacking. You had five players that either played Origin or involved in the Origin camps. Good. Step in the right direction. Fantastic.
No, I look again. I think that's where
good season.
A lot of people have landed.
You know, sorry to cut you off, but naturally, as a Dogs fan, like, you know, of course you're going to be disappointed. Your team bombs out, and it's going to burn deep for a while.
So just quickly on the gains and losses and re-signs.
Yep,
we got Kate Dykes, Sean O'Sullivan, and Leo Thompson.
Very good. Who'd you lose?
We lost Tom Amone, Hutchison, Mahoney, Curtis Moran, Joey O'Neill went to St. George, Toby Sexton, Luke Smith, Ryan Sutton, Blake Taff, and Blake Wilson.
Where's Blake Taff gone?
To
England?
Yeah, England.
All right.
And
you lost a bit of deadwood.
I think.
And he freed up some cap space.
I think we definitely freed up some cap space. If you look at who we didn't keep, I think. Look, the only person I'm sort of. Yeah, no, I think a lot of the moves were
out of the players, I feel like Reed Mahoney is a loss. Yeah, there's no denying, you know, he's a decent hooker. He should have played Origin.
Look,
a few years back.
Mahoney, I know why they got rid of Mahoney. Mahoney was on a lot of money at the Dogs, and he got offered a whole lot of money at the Cowboys, like a lot more than the Dogs that were willing to give him. Right, the Dogs wanted to re-sign him, but they wanted him to take a pay cut.
That I understand. That's good. I understand. Right? Do they have a replacement?
So before I get to that, I just want to say something about Reed Mahoney. Right, loyalty's dead. It doesn't exist neither from the clubs nor from the players. That's fine. It is what it is. Whatever.
And you can't begrudge them.
I don't begrudge anyone.
Especially in the outside when we're all trying to look after ourselves.
I don't begrudge anyone.
Only a hypocrite would begrudge them.
Why I was upset about Mahoney leaving was for one reason. Mahoney, if you guys remember when we were getting smashed, we got smashed 66-0 whatever against the Knights in 2023. Or was it? Yeah, it was 2023.
You're still going back there.
I won't forget about that ever. All right? I'm going to commemorate that every year.
Times.
But like my point is that we were getting dominated, and Mahoney was the little aggressor.
Yep, go on.
Right? Mahoney was the little aggressor that took it to forwards 3 times his size. Right?
Right.
And he was the little like chihuahua that led the whole team in strength and confidence, and I feel like he was so proud of doing that, of being the pest, of being the person that did that for the Dogs. And the way he left sort of left a bit of a sour taste in my mouth, not from the club, not from him. I just felt like maybe it could have happened a little bit better. Maybe he could have spent one more year because I think like he deserved to have that one more
You
year
loved
at the
him.
Dogs.
He thought he had part of the dog DNA.
He absolutely had the dog DNA.
I think if the Dogs go on to win a premiership in the next 2 years, someone needs to sacrifice that ring.
I agree.
That's how much I think he's in.
I don't think so. If he's winning it, then it's a masterstroke.
Oh,
Bloody hell. Fair income. Sorry. Absolute masterstroke. I wouldn't send it over either. Come on, boys. It's a masterstroke. I'd give Cameron Serraldo or whoever, or Phil Good, whoever, their premiership ring instead.
That's a great point.
Or your recruitment manager, whoever's
But do you
in charge.
disagree with what I'm saying about Money and how instrumental he was?
He had the mongrel.
He did.
He had some dog's DNA.
That
That's
wi-
why it hurts the Dogs fans.
That's right. But
mean-
I understand from a coaching and a salary cap balance perspective, can't always be done. We'll say quickly,
Smart move.
Kikau re-signed to 2028. Everybody said he was gone.
On reduced money, I believe.
I mean, I don't know if it's on reduced money, but it doesn't really matter.
It'll be
He's re-signed.
consistent.
Yeah, I think it may work. I don't think it got upgraded. If
Yeah, I
that's what
don't
you're
think
asking.
they've given
It's
him
probably
notice.
it'd be about the same or a bit less, but it's consistent over for another 3 seasons.
Yeah,
including
so
this.
he's there to 2028. So
He's also like looking after the Fiji pathways as well.
No, he's good
So, like,
retention.
like
Tails.
I was hoping he'd leave so we could sign him.
no, I love
He's
the
a good
fact that he
retention.
stayed. He's
Not on as much money, but yeah.
And to be honest, I think this year will be his last year at second row. I think in 2027 he'll probably move to the forwards.
Yeah, I'd keep
Trust
him out.
me.
He's so good out wide.
Nah,
'Cause
but
he's
he-
not a workaholic.
Yes, he is.
He's not a workaholic up the middle.
I think if you use him in 20-minute bursts every, in each half, I think he'll be
But he's
so
but
destructive.
he's so effective out wide.
He is. Look, I can't deny it. That's why I think this year will be his last year. And then because we got a lot of second rowers and a lot of props coming through and stuff, and I think like you want to start giving them the ability as he gets older, give him less time, but let him play in the middle. So I think that's what may happen. Jethro Rinkama also re-signed till 2027. And the big ones, Phil Gould re-signed till 2031. Stephen Crichton re-signed to 2031.
Feel good. He's not a player.
But you can't deny how instrumental he is to the club.
2031.
2031. Him.
Phil would be 72. Wow, Phil.
Yeah. And Crichton's going to be a dog for life. So I think, look, that's great signs. I think that the next captain we win a premiership under will be Stephen Crichton. I have no doubt in that. I think he's only 25. Like, if you look at what he brings and what he's able to do from a leadership perspective, bro, I think he'll captain New South Wales. Honestly, I genuinely think he'll captain New South Wales. But quick thoughts on those signings?
I love the signings. Like,
Oh, I love Phil Good.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to sell me on. Only haters do.
Buzz Rothfield.
He's retired.
yeah, he's retired.
Phil Good's keep going.
Well, he's retarded.
Retired.
Oh, retired.
Retired. Hey, look. When you get one scoop out of 100, then people have a right to start thinking that, Sorry, but he once made this scoop. Who was it? Not Daly. What's the guy that was the pig for Manly? Jamie Lyon.
Oh, yeah, Jamie Lyon, yeah.
He once made a scoop after the 2013 grand final. Who's going to sign? It's going to be released tonight. He's going to sign a 4-year deal to go to Gold Coast till 2017. Well, that never happened. I remember Mark Moore.
Yeah, but he's been in. I'm ready to talk about guys.
Because it'll be on the news tonight.
No,
He's
he's talking
signing for
about Buzz.
Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Somebody sold him a dud,
Yeah.
obviously.
Any thoughts on any?
No, I like the Serraldo. Like he's been great since he's come to the club. Feel good, obviously, really good. Stephen Crichton, that captain, like you were just speaking about key man dependency. Like we obviously had to resign him.
Oh, very good. Look, I'll tell you what, even if he's don't win a premiership within the next few years, please God. Anyway, back to point. The culture is, and if they maintain the rage, if they make the finals consistently for the next, say, 10, 15 years straight, then to me, and they've made it the last 2 years, the most important sign, I touched this on a few years back, was Feel Good.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
They didn't make the finals that first year, but already they were starting to make signings.
Yeah.
Burner, and then they signed Crichton. I go, oh, look, the Feel Good effect. Most Canterbury fans hated him. And I'm like, do you dopes even know he used to coach for your club? And he won his
probably not.
premiership?
Honestly, probably
And he also would have played in a premiership winning side if he didn't break his leg the week before.
Yeah, the other
You know,
people know.
a lot of people didn't know this. He's also on record the youngest premiership winning coach at the age of 29 when he took that Canterbury side in 88 to premiership victory. They just got rid of Wok. Wok, who had won 3 premierships, I think. Wait, hang on a second. 84, 85?
80.
2.
Yeah.
2. He didn't win that. 80 was Glossop. But anyways, he had just won 2 premierships with the Dogs.
Yeah.
And he had taken Newtown Jets to a grand final in 81. That was Wok.
Can I just say, the one player the Doggies lost still breaks my heart, and I think like we missed the trick.
Sonny Bill Williams.
Tom Amone.
I was trying to rub it in about
It's because a friend of ours is always making fun of how, people were hyping up Tom Amone. So were we, to be honest, and he couldn't even play off the bench in our New South Wales Cup.
We should have went live on a Saturday night.
Nah, man, it's fine.
Everyone will be fishing and that and, watching soccer in the Premier League. They could just have it on their phone.
Anyway, point is, by the time this episode goes out, sure, you guys will enjoy what we have to say. What I want to talk about next is we've done the signings and stuff like that. I want to talk about 2026, right? Big year for the Dogs. Big year for the NRL, right?
I still think they'll go good in the regular season again.
But I want to break down some predictions. I want to talk about some hot takes for 2026. Not hot takes particularly, because we're going to have a hot takes episode where we go absolutely crazy with our hot takes. But I want to talk about some of the juniors that we may be seeing. I want to talk about what's different. Will there be the same sort of strategy from Serraldo? So I'm going to start with you, Zatar. What coaching changes do you think Serraldo is going to make for 2026?
Question. Because the spine for me isn't even set. Like, we've got Tracy in 1, we got Bird and Galvin in 6, we got Galvin, Woods.
The Bulldogs in 2026. So we've spoken about 2025, we've spoken about some of the things coming into 2026. Now I want to focus on some of the coaching changes, some of the player changes, some of the juniors that may debut, and how we see, I guess, the draw that the Bulldogs have for 2026 affecting them, because it's a bit of a tougher draw this year than it was in 2025. Plus, we've got to take into account the fact that the Bulldogs will be going to Vegas to beat the Dragons. So I want to start with you, Zatar. What are your thoughts on sort of 2026?
I think we're going to be in for a good year, but we've got a lot of questions that need to be answered by our spine. But what, just quickly addressing the draw, I think us going to Vegas, we get a bye in round 2, I think it is. So we come back, everyone's recovering. I don't think it's a thing for us this year, like that Vegas run, like it's impacted teams in the past. Draw becoming more difficult. Like to Dibbo's point earlier, we are a good regular season team. Unfortunately, I don't want to compare us to the Sharks, but we will do good in the regular season, I think. But you expect that.
Don't go there, bro.
You expect the competition.
It's good consistency, doing the basics. They do the basics better than everyone. I'll tell you.
Yeah, you want the team to improve anyway, and you can only get sharper for the finals. Like iron sharpens iron, whatever the saying is.
Just gotta find that extra yardage. You gotta find that mongrel.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Like, I don't know. You guys played junior sports growing up.
I watched it.
Anyway, I don't know.
My parents were ethnics. They don't want us to play sport.
Anyway, growing up, so. And the same thing in my brother's team, we always had some sort of teammates that would train like Mr. Perfect, or train their ass off, and then you're like, fucking fraud. Like, game day, you're going to get steamrolled. We always had that. But because they would kill the preseason and kill training day throughout the week, till the coach would always put them in the starting lineup. Till eventually, when it come to the crunch, they'd get exposed, And that's how it felt like with Canterbury. They're doing... we'll call the preseason or the regular season like a training run, in that sense, if I'm comparing. And Canterbury's doing the basics, bang, bang. But when it comes to the last 6 rounds of the NRL season, because we're heading to the championship rounds before the finals or the playoffs or whatever you want to call them, and then the sheep get separated from the goats. You get me? Right? And that's, and growing up, that's what would happen. Because all of a sudden... For example, besides, what's the Hulk's name in the Marvel series?
Bruce Banner.
Bruce Banner. Like, this guy's amazing. He knows all that, right? So all of a sudden, the sides that have been Bruce Banner throughout the year have now become the Hulk, right?
Yeah.
If you can't handle that, then you're going to just be fodder, right? So Canterbury got to find that extra mongrel. It is no longer training run and be Mr. Perfect till the going gets tough. That's not going to work if you're going to go far in the finals.
See, I think that's what the whole point of bringing people like Galvin into the team was, and shaking up that spine. I think internally within themselves.
I hope you mentioned the other guys you guys have recruited.
I think part of the signings were literally because of that, right? Like bringing in Galvin, Leo Thompson. We had earmarked him, I think, from January last year or February last year.
I think he'll do better for you.
I think we'll do better.
He'll do good for you.
But we still got a lot of unanswered questions. Like, if I asked any of you boys, who's our spine in round 10 and who's our spine in round 3, and then in round 22, I guarantee it's not going to be the same.
Actually, I was going to say, I think the spine that runs out in round 20 is not going to be the same spine that ran out in round 1. Like, there's no way. And I don't mean that because injuries might happen. I actually mean that I think Serrato has a plan. I think that if you look at what's been spoken about in the media, so Gus Good's come out and he said that Mitch Woods this year will get a chance. Granted, he's only played a handful of New South Wales Cup games. I still think that he will get a chance, and I think he's going to kill it. I always look at Sam Walker, and I think the dude reminds me so much of Mitch Woods. Super talented, is earmarked for greatness, and was given a chance early. And I think Mitch Woods can replicate that. The only difference is our fourth pack wasn't as good as the Roosters one that supported his growth. I also think that we've got some other juniors that will also start to feature more heavily, I think, as we go into the season. So if you look at, we've got Finau Latu. I think Finau Latu is earmarked as being something really big. So I think, Gus Good's mentioned Finau Latu as being one of the guys that will debut this year. The other one that I think is forgotten a little bit, but it has so much potential, and we saw a sort of a glimpse of it last year, was Jack Todd. Big fan of Jack Todd. I think Jack Todd for us could be... Look, he plays in the middle. I think he can play at lock. He can come off the bench and be an impact prop or impact forward, even on the edges, not necessarily just the prop. So I think he's going to be so instrumental for the Bulldogs.
Unfortunately with him, he gets injured every second week. He spent a lot of time, especially in this preseason, injured. Again. Every time he gets better, like unfortunately for him, I hope this year he could go through not being injured, because when he made his debut, he absolutely killed it. And looking at him like, we need to play like this for the rest of the year.
Was that against the Knights when he scored?
Against the Sharks.
Oh, that's right.
The game where everyone wrote us off and
then
said,
we pumped them.
The Dogs are going to get found out. And we absolutely tailed up the Sharks in Shark Park.
I remember that game.
He debuted, did really well. Then a couple of weeks later, he was injured. A couple of weeks after recovery, he was injured again. And again in the preseason, he's been injured. I've actually got my eyes, like, to debut is Finau Latu. I reckon he makes it in before round 10. And I reckon he absolutely kills it. Apparently, he's been killing it in the preseason. Gus Gould has glazed him a few times, to say the least. Mitch Woods will make his debut. I just don't know when. Another one I'm keen on, not many people have spoken about, is Kade Dykes. Like, he's had a horrible injury run, but he was touted to be a great fullback. Highly talented.
My problem with Kade Dykes is reminds me too much of Connor Tracy. Comes from the Sharks, had multiple ACLs, and slated to be a great player. The Bulldogs have given him an opportunity with less money, only signed him free. Like, he's too similar to Connor Tracy, and I don't know if he has the speed after so many injuries with his knees or his ACLs or whatever, to be able to provide what we need. Because I think our biggest problem for 2026 is speed. I think we're found out very poorly when it comes to how fast or how slow we are. Not how fast, how slow we are. Like, when you think about the Bulldogs, we are so slow. Like, who in the back line gives you that if we make a break, he's away? We had the Fox, but even then, we made him put 10 kilos on, so it became slow.
I still rock it.
Now we get with the Eels, he actually said in the first preseason at Eels, he lost over 10 kilos. That's why he gained his speed back.
He was burning him again. Like, he's still burning him at Canterbury, but now it's
where
was this?
Winger, 94 kilos.
That's
insane.
crazy.
Yeah, like, he was because we play a different style where we expect our wingers to do 150 to 180 meters.
They wanted them to be like players like Ta'o and in the past, like Wendell Sailor, Lottie Takiri, and Eric Grove Senior and Junior, for example. Not every winger's going to be utilised. His weaponry was to be out wide and wait for an opportunity, like Nathan Blacklock back in the days, if you remember Tinga. And, he was a whippet, and it was those sort of wingers, or stay out wide with the line wide open, or we'll put a kick through to you. That's what Dudu was lurk around. He was doing it great at Melbourne, if you remember.
Yeah, I am.
And some of those tries he scored for New South Wales. Whew.
So I want to ask you guys, Josh Curran signed with the Perth Bears. We've got a lot of juniors coming through.
Yep.
Does Josh Curran make it into our 17?
I mean, if he performs, of course.
But I'm saying from a strategic perspective, if you were right now saying, I'm going to choose my top 17 for round 1, does Curran get chosen? And I just want to make a point, right? I love Curran.
I'd roll with him.
I rate Curran highly. I think, very grateful because if you look at the way or what Curran did when we didn't have props, I remember he played. He's not a prop. He's not even props asshole.
He was good till he got injured.
He was great, right?
He's killing it.
He's not a prop, but he played prop, and you can see he played injured at times, right?
He was one of your best players for about the first 4 months.
That's right, and so
he dropped off, then he came back. Yeah,
not here to talk shit about him at all. It's just about, do we see him? Given the fact that he signed with Perth, not anything else, but if you take into context that he's signed with Perth, does he make the top 17 regularly? Regularly,
of course, because you're looking to get the win every week, and put your best team forward. And Canterbury ain't begrudging him because Perth offer absolutely blew Canterbury's out of the water. At the same time, Canterbury knows they've got young players coming through, and they can offer him a bit, to retain him. And having him around the club will actually help with the development of those players because he's actually a good performer, as we saw last year and the year before, how really good he is.
I've got a completely different opinion on that. I think you take risks earlier in the season, knowing that you could bring him back in if one debutant doesn't perform. The fact that he signed with Perth Bears, congrats on getting another contract, but I wouldn't put him back in my side.
Yeah, but which debutant are you going to offer him in your place? In his place, Lipai Hopoi. He's not even, not Lipai Hopoi, but unless you want to give him more regular time.
Well, no, don't forget there's Jack Todd, there's Finau Latu.
Jack Underhill,
I think.
I honestly think Jack Underhill not playing last year was probably a blessing. He's another year older, a year stronger, a year wiser, a year fitter. It might help him.
And don't forget, props take time.
I just want to say the same thing with Mitch Woods. If there's no point in playing him, don't play him. Daly Cherry Evans didn't play till he was about 22, and he's one of the better halfbacks in the modern era.
I agree. I'm with you 100%.
He's playing again now, and look at him. He's an absolute freak. Yeah. He didn't have a side that set the world on fire for most of his years at Manly, but he's always there.
Yeah.
And he captained Queensland.
I wouldn't be debuting Mitch Woods. The only reason why I'm a bit more forgiving to debuting or not placing Josh Curran into the team is because he's not in the spine position. It's not, in my opinion, not a key position.
He's a well stacked on forwards, which is good. He's a well stacked on forwards.
Mm.
So I just thought I'd have him there.
Don't forget, we've also signed Fletcher Baker as one of our development players. Well, I think Fletcher Baker has a lot of potential. I genuinely think Fletcher Baker can be something special for us.
I would put him on the flight straight to England and see you later. There's a reason why Roosters and then Brisbane got rid of him. Must be more than just performances.
And we've got we've got Logan Spinks. We've got development player.
Oh, development. Okay, sorry.
And Sasaya Alatini. So and Gordon Chan Chumtong as well. Chan Chumtong. Can't forget that we've signed him as a hooker replacement. I thought he was good for Manly, to be honest.
I actually like the some depth signing you guys have made. Like, I know you touched on Kate Dykes, but he's a depth signing. He's a good squad, and he's actually a really good player. And Cronulla didn't not want to sign him. It's just Canterbury said, "Here, we're going to give you an opportunity." And Cronulla thought, you know what, he's not getting himself right at us. We'll let him go. Maybe things will work out for him at another club. I guarantee you, it's probably more a compassionate let go by Cronulla because he kept getting himself injured.
I think so. Yeah.
It's not that he can't perform. He's not having luck with us. Let him go somewhere else.
And it's not that big of a loss for them because he hasn't there's nothing to.
They got dip, and then who knows? Maybe he might kill it at Canterbury, and they can come back with an offer down the track to try to entice him back home.
The other thing another player we've also signed is Sean O'Sullivan.
Yeah, another good depth signing.
I actually love that signing. As much as we want to say Burton's a 6 and Galvin's a 6 or whatever, or that Galvin should be at 7, I can just imagine Galvin at 6, Sean O'Sullivan at 7, actually being a better combo.
He's another one that had quite an injury run. That but don't forget, if people forget this, he's been at 2 different clubs that won titles when he was there at Roosters
and the Panthers.
And he was there at Brisbane for a while, and he's been there at the Dolphins. He was the inaugural half or something.
Yeah, and
he really did well there.
Yeah, and don't forget, right? He was he got replaced by Isaiah Katoa, who I think could be one of the best halfbacks we've seen in the modern era. Right, so he's not bad, and I think his organisation is good. A lot of that is what I think Galvin needs beside him. Instead of being the one organising, he needs to be sort of playing off the cuff and letting someone organise, which is why I think that we may see Sean O'Sullivan and Galvin in the halves sometime at a point this year. What I am very nervous about is Sean O'Sullivan sort of going through this whole Sexton situation again, where people want him in, and then he has one bad game, and they're like, "Nah, drop him," and then the club gets into the club's head or whatever. I hope that situation doesn't arise.
He's a depth signing, so he might end up just being on the bench.
He will be, and I think he's going to take Mitch Woods under his wing. I think that's one of the other things as well. He'll take Mitch Woods and Galvin under his wing, but I would like to see him play 7 for us. I do think he'll be great for us at 7.
Yeah, so I see him coming in as a depth signing, a bit more of a mentorship role, to follow on. I don't think we have any depths in the halves anyway. Like outside Mitch Woods, who do we have in the halves to step in?
We've got a couple of young guys.
No one with experience.
No one with any experience at all. And, Joey Walsh is gone.
So you got Burton, you got
Galvin,
you got Woods, you got Sullivan. That's what it's stacking
not
up.
Not a bad
Got
option.
4.
Yeah.
Connor Tracy if need be. 5.
Now, the big signing over the summer, or the big recruit that's joined the Bulldogs, is Leo Thompson. Recently, people have been saying Leo Thompson's not training with the team. What's going on? Is he injured? So on and so forth. And Phil Gould actually responded to them, and he said that he's needed a different physical regime to the rest of the team. So he's been doing that on his own, but he's not injured. He's due to play for round 1, so on and so forth.
They probably wanted him to slim up, maybe.
Either slim up, better fitness, whatever the case may be.
He's quite bulky up here.
Yeah.
He's look, there's no silver bullet, but he's supposed to be the silver bullet for our forward problem.
I think he'll do really good for you guys.
You think so?
Bloody oath. Like everyone's like, all right, maybe it might be out of context, but the Dragons signed Keon Kolomatangi, right?
Yeah.
And then you had a lot of Canterbury fans coming out, because I do know a lot. Oh, I wish we signed him. Leo Thompson was he was playing in a Newcastle Knights team that no one wanted to play anymore. Look at their performances. They were horrible. Everyone looked rubbish in there. What's that British second rower's name? He's gone to the Tigers now.
Sport.
Yeah.
I can't believe they let him go.
Yeah.
But even there, he was even Bradman Best looked ordinary.
I honestly, I really wanted the Dogs to sign KPP. I'm such a big fan of him.
He ran away as well from the club.
Yeah, 100%.
Like that coach, but Leo Thompson, he's steely, he's strong. He's not the best prop in the game. No, we'll all agree on that. He's probably not in the best top 5, probably maybe not.
He's not in the top 5.
But he was solid. There's a reason why he played for New Zealand. There's a reason why a fair few clubs tried to go after him. Now he's at a club that's doing well and going forward. He'll be really like when Knights were making the finals and he was playing with the what are the twins' names?
Saifidi brothers.
Daniel and Jacob Saifidi. He was getting a lot of accolades. So now he gets to a Canterbury side, lacked a bit of still up the middle. It revealed, and he's not soft. So he's going to plug that gap, and he's got a good all round team around him to do all the basics well. He's going to look good for you guys. He's going to do
He's
good.
only 25 years old.
He's very young.
He's gonna look like a solid rock in the middle. He's going to really still up that middle for you, because you guys really needed that.
I think Max King, off the back of Leo Thompson, will improve as well. I think not having to shoulder being the primary prop, I think will help. And the other thing about Leo Thompson that excites me is he reminds me so much of James Fisher-Harris. I don't know what it is. Other than, okay, sure, they're both
New Zealand. Both of them.
No, but their style, the way they play, it's almost like I'm a prop. I'm not going to try and get too fancy. I'm not going to try and get too smart. I'm going to run hard, play the ball quick. That's it. Let them do what they need to do. I just want to play the game. I just want to play as a prop. And I feel like Leo Thompson just has that sort of, I'm going to put the team first. All I have to do is, as a prop, run hard, play the ball quick, tackle as hard as I can, be angry. That's it. It's very, he's got a very simple, a playing style. Some forwards, try to get fancy, or they just don't have the grunt. Leo Thompson has it, but as you touched on, Debo, I think, there was a bit of lack of motivation at the Knights.
But I'll tell you what he does good. Right? Max King played State of Origin last year, right? Him coming in now, and if he's killing it, and who was started with Max King besides Curran last year in the props?
Sam Hughes,
right? And Jack Todd will come through, and who knows, a few others, right? If Max King ain't performing at their level, do you think Serraldo is going to keep him in the starting lineup?
absolutely not.
It's just now added more pressure on him now to up his game, and for other boys as well. You were starting last year. You ain't starting this year. He's starting. And for you, Max, if the other boys are knocking on the door and Leo's killing it and you're not, you could find yourself on the bench. So there's another positive there that could work your way.
Look, it's true. But I think overall, Leo Thompson he's been given a very clear game plan, right? And he's be told this is what's expected of you. That's all we need.
I think he works perfect for you guys. And touch back on Koloamatangi, he's a more dominant sort of 60, 70-minute front row. You want to give him the ball all the time, right? Whereas, because Max King does shoulder a lot of the workload, Leo Thompson, he's a 40-minute player, 40 to 50-minute player. That's all he needs to be. He'll give you a good 15, 20-minute stints.
You don't think
that's perfect for you guys.
But you don't think Serrato's going to try and make him a 60, 70-minute forward?
He could be. He could be.
Because he's played, at times on the night, he's played 80 minutes and he's actually played incredibly well.
He can.
So, I mean, I don't know. I do see...
He just doesn't need to be the huge workload, but he just needs to be the still in the middle that he's lacked.
Yeah. No, I agree.
No, you didn't overly lack it. Just there was a bit of softness, because Max King needs someone with him.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? Max King's got someone going forward with him. He'll do better himself. So he will do good for you.
Like we had Harry Hayes.
Yeah,
as much as I love him,
see,
but running prop
he's like the big man. See, you see how good he'll do for you guys. He didn't need a Koloamatangi, right?
Attacking coach of the Dogs, Jason
I
Taylor.
don't know. They had the
New
worst
South Wales
attack
Cup.
last year.
See,
I got to see this. I'm not going to
See,
see.
he reminds me of Barrett. I think Adam O'Brien is a better assistant than he is as a full-time
was he
coach.
the assistant coach at the Roosters?
Yeah, but
And at the Storm.
and the Storm, right?
Yeah.
But can I ask, was he
Attack
the
coach.
Oh, he was.
Yeah.
Well, why was his team so horrible last year?
I think he lost the locker room.
But you know what? The year before and the year before that, the attack was nothing special. It was more like they'd do a late run. It was more like Ponga.
It was just Ponga, bro.
Hastings, Best,
yeah.
and Crossland or whoever. And it's like they were doing it themselves with those late runs and forays and all that. Yeah. You know, it's just, Who was he in charge of attack, or did he have his own attacking coach? Or
He was in charge of attack, but I think the Knights have.
All right, we'll see what
deeper
happens.
issues.
Maybe
they have deeper issues. We'll discuss it in the
he's maybe another Barrett. We'll find out.
Look, I'm gonna hold out judgment. That's genuinely like the only way I can think of it is I really disliked Adam O'Brien. Like I thought he was the Knights' problem last year. Now
some of these press post-match
ridiculous. Do you know who I am? Get out of here, bro.
Like he wasn't even taking pressure off his side. If anything, he was putting him more under pressure and putting the attention back on them.
He deserves that. I think he does deserve that.
It's interesting to see how does he go back from being a head coach to an assistant
That's
coach,
right.
because he's never had to do that before.
That's right. Well, Justin Holbrook did it at the Roosters under Robinson.
They went backwards.
Now he's at the Knights. Well, I don't think they went backwards. Anyway, we'll get into that in the Roosters preview, but essentially,
Hopefully they keep going backwards. Anyway.
yeah, essentially, that's it. It's a wait and see. I don't have high hopes, but the thing is, I remember when we signed Jason Taylor and everyone's like, Jason Taylor's shit. But Jason Taylor actually did very well for us in attack. I know we didn't have the best attack, but we also didn't have the best attacking team. Yeah, so we didn't really have an attacking team. So I'm going to wait and see with Adam O'Brien. As I said, not a big fan of him. I thought he was the Knights' problem. But look, I trust the judgment of the Bulldogs because, as I said, like Jason Taylor, everyone said he was crap, came in, did a great job. So it is what it is. We're going to wait and see. Now, I want to sort of end with this is, number one, I want to talk about what the predicted Bulldogs 17 is. What is start with you, Zatar, given you're the Bulldogs fan. What's your predicted top 17 for the Bulldogs?
What point in the season do we want to talk? Like round one?
Let's go round one.
Yeah,
Let's go round one.
Or what you think for the first 2 months, for
Yeah,
example,
for
or
the
3
first
months.
couple of months, up until Magic Round, I'd say, I think it's going to be a very stock standard team. Like the way that we finished last year, I think Burden stays in 6. I think Galvin is going to sit in 7, Tracy in 1, standard Montoya on the wing with Kiraz, Stephen Crichton in the centre. Who else do we have?
Sherry will be other.
Sherry in the other centre. We've got Bailey Haywood going into 9. Kurt Mann, I'm not sure if Kurt Mann starts or just comes off the bench, but Salmon in lock, like the exact same team. I don't think it changes. With the exception of Thompson being in the starting team. I think Satili sits on the bench as well. I don't think I don't know. His impact off the bench seems great. I think he's one of those players that just plays well
Who
off
would
the
be
bench.
your starting second roles then?
Has to be Preston and kick out, wouldn't it?
I don't think that changes. Preston and kicks. I think on the bench,
I would kick out Salmon from your 13 at the least. Sorry, but I would find room to put that trio. Someone's going to have to play lock.
Yeah, I think Satili Tupanua could just be like a prop. Like Patino in.
if I could make the changes,
if you
Salmon
want,
wouldn't be in this team.
yeah, that's right. That's why I said at least 13. But if you're wanting Mr. Kick Out to be closer up the middle, then there's the opportunity to chuck him into lock.
That's true. That's actually a good point.
Right?
Or even
Tupanua is a good line breaker.
but even Tupanua at lock can play like the prop a role that Tino plays at
He's good out wide.
the Titans.
He's very speedy,
that's what I
very
mean.
pacey. He's not a as big body, so I'll probably keep him a wide running second row like Preston. Back to you.
Who do you have on your bench?
Good question. I think Harry Hayes has earned like a permanent spot on the bench. Cecilia, unless he starts, will be on the bench. I'd love to see Jack Todd.
You got Curran not sitting in there, I believe.
So yeah, I wouldn't be playing Curran at all. Not anymore. But I'd be carrying like Finau, Latu. I forgot Max King. Max King would be in the starting team.
Yeah, we knew that already with Leo Thompson. Yeah. I just think, can't you find someone to take the place of 9 instead of Bailey Hayward? Can Sean O'Sullivan slot in there? I would take a look at playing Sean O'Sullivan at 9 and Kurt Mann. No. Kurt Mann would be on your bench.
No, I think Hayward's the 9. I think that's.
See, I'm not sure about that. But like by around 20, I'm not sure what it's going to look like. I know he's the starting 9 at the moment. But
who else is going to play in Turpin?
Kurt Mann could play 9.
I think if they're going to play Chan Kum-Tong, they'll play Turpin instead. I think
what about
Turpin
Kurt Mann at 9? They're playing him lock. He's not even a big body for lock.
I don't think they'll change Kurt Mann from lock.
He's so smart.
He's proven his worth at lock. So I don't think they're going to play Kurt Mann anywhere. Your thoughts, Dibbo? Do you think there's going to be any shock calls or just going to be stock standard to the first month?
Well, I don't even know. I mean, does Tracy even being the fullback? That's the next question. He's going to look at that.
Do you think Kate Dykes will overtake him?
I mean, it's not necessarily could even be Kate Dykes. It could be Stephen Crichton, for example. They could go to the back.
Dream Buller.
No, I'm just saying. Now, hang on a sec. If who knows? Maybe Lachlan Galvin could go at fullback, for example.
Hey, they're not going to play Lachlan Galvin fullback, and they're not going to play Burton there either.
You know what? Like Burton's an option at fullback as well, but he's got to look at those sort of things to take him to the next step. My honest opinion, I'll drop Sherry and I'll put Burton at
centre. Right centre.
So somebody's going to get forced out of the club.
Yeah.
Because if you're getting Sherry on big money, not Sherry, Crichton and Burton are big money, to have him at centre is heading up.
$2 million.
You're going to lose someone. So who's going to be?
I mean, that's why.
Or does Burton go to fullback?
Well, that's why everyone keeps saying Burton's going to leave to
Perth.
So
I think everyone's drawn those assumptions from round 12 last year as soon as we signed Galvin.
I just
about Burton leaving.
No, I don't mind the positional changes, but he's got to look at where can I get the X factor?
There's no balance.
I've got to try something to take us to the next level.
Well, think of it this way. I think that Galvin and Woods, by round 26, will have played, I think, at least a handful of games together.
I mean, ideally, look, if Woods needs another year to grow his body and all that, don't rush him. If it means, if having him in the side means we're going to end up in the same position in the finals, don't have him. Let him grow another season.
Yeah, I think Serraldo's smart enough to know that Burton and Galvin aren't the long-term answer, and you don't want to just play them there for the sake of playing them there when Woods is performing and can probably perform in first grade.
Honestly, I'd have players like Salmon on the outer. I would look to give Mann either a hooker. I would even have the Hayward in there. Honestly, this is my honest opinion. I would look at Kurt Mann and maybe Sean O'Sullivan to fill that 9 role.
I don't think that.
And they're both ball players.
I disagree.
And they both have the footy smarts.
I disagree. I think
Bailey Hayward. What's he shown me he can do at 9?
Everything.
He was horrendous.
No, he wasn't.
As you can see, almost having a hissy fit because why we didn't talk up Bailey Hayward.
No, I'm not asking you to talk him up, but you're saying ship him off to England.
Bro. Yeah, he's fodder. We'd have to kiss ass all the players.
It's not about kissing ass.
But the guy was embarrassing in the finals.
He got thrown into the deep end as well. That's also on Serraldo.
And he came up short.
No, he didn't come up short. Give him an off-season at least.
But he's not even a hooker.
He plays hooker.
Bro, honestly, Kurt Mann all day, any day of the week.
You're weakening
and Sean O'Sullivan.
I disagree.
Gun player, kills it up long.
I think Hayward played really poorly back half of the season, like before the changes Serraldo brought into
He was, as we said earlier, the training run, and then they were giving him the pat on. He was made to look good because of his teammates. But then the deep end came in. Forget it. The Sharks came out and pulled out who the weakness was.
But I do think with the off-season, just in hooker, we'll do him wonders.
Oh, we'll find out.
But I don't know if he's the long-term answer.
All right. We got him that out of the way. Are we going to see where the Dogs are going to go in the finals or?
All right. Okay. So, we've heard him talk shit about Bailey Hayward. It's unfortunate we didn't sign a 35-year-old hooker.
That's 10 times better than him.
Sure. Anyway.
Yeah, I'll give him another year.
Yeah, anyways. All right, bro. So, I'm going to ask you guys, what's a pass mark for the Bulldogs for 2026? I'm going to start with you.
I'll say again, make the finals. They lost a few players. They've signed a few players. They're still haven't worked out where they are. But this is not forget 3 years ago where they were and the year before that. They've made the finals the last 2 years. Make the finals again. Got to be top 4. I do actually expect them to properly make the preliminary final this year. Have to properly make it. But if they tick those 2 boxes, top 4 again, because they are well drilled and they do the basics better than everyone, and they are a really good regular season side. Plus, they got more experience under their belt. They've had 2 finals campaigns under their belts back to back. A lot of those players now have played together for at least 2-3 years. It's got to be at least preliminary final. To be fair, dinkum, if we're not just going to say top 4, it's got to be preliminary final. Has to be. They got to make the prelims this year. Sure, if they go in straight sets, I'm still going to give them a pass mark. But if you're going to be fair dinkum, prelims.
I think we go in straight sets as a fail. I think it's a fail mark, to be honest.
They made the finals again in the top 4. I said they got to tick those 2 boxes, top 4 finals.
Well, if it's
but generally speaking, if you make the top 4, and for the second year in a row, you expect it to make the prelims. Come on.
If we make the prelims, I think it's a pass.
Yeah, has to be.
Without spine, if we make the prelim,
It's very unsettled, like who's where.
Like if we win, like we have to win one of the finals games, like obviously to make it to a prelim, and hopefully break the curse of just being bounced out in straight sets.
A lot of people think the Dogs are going to go backwards this year.
I don't understand that.
Yeah, I mean, still like where, how, why?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
All right, say they don't finish 3rd. If they finish 4th or 5th, okay, or 6th, they're still in the finals. But why he's trying to suggest they won't even make the finals? Like where? Where's that come from? Who have they lost?
I think.
Who have they lost?
A lot of teams need to improve. A lot of teams need to improve a lot for us to miss the top 4, in my opinion.
Of course.
In my opinion, a lot of teams have to improve a lot for us to miss the top 4.
And the last 2 years I've seen for the Dogs and the way they play and the way
we're consistent.
Set up,
yeah, I don't expect that to change.
They'll make the finals. I can't see them. I'll be a bit surprised if they don't make the top 4. If they do not make the top 4, it could be a bad injury toll, for example.
Yeah, which is what I. So what you're saying, preliminary final at least?
Yeah, prelim final for me, for a pass. Anything after that is obviously bonus. Like winning grand finals, the goal that they all work towards. So I would want that, but prelim minimum. Anything less than that is.
I got them coming.
Some questions need to be asked.
I got them coming 3rd again this year. They'll finish thereabouts 3rd. Last year they finished 3rd. The year before that they finished 6th. The year before that they finished 15th, 13th.
14th.
14th. And they had the worst injury toll in the comp. So they probably should have finished higher up towards like 10th or something, or 11th. That's just Serraldo. They train well, they play well, they rock up. They're consistent. They do the basics well. So I expect another good performance from them. And to be honest, probably a bit better than last year. They're more experienced, another year under their belt. I think they should.
No, I agree with Dibba. I think we should.
And they should have worked out the deadwood by now, surely.
Yeah, competition's a bit.
Montoya won't play as much.
Yeah.
I think there's been. We'll come to it as we discuss each team. I think some teams have improved like quite a bit. I don't see too many teams cliffing off run of injuries or a betting scandal or something.
Some will drop off. Some won't do as good as last year. I can really see it.
Yeah.
Some teams had a really good run last year.
You're talking about the Raiders, aren't you?
Yeah, that's one of them. I think the Broncos will do better regular season wise, but finals, I don't know if they go the whole way.
They shouldn't have gone the whole way this year, but don't get me started.
I mean, last year.
Last season.
But Cronulla's another mystery, but anyways.
Can I say, I think at minimum, the Bulldogs have to make the top 4.
And the prelim.
No. So the thing is, it's not about making the prelim or not. Yeah, it's about the way we perform. So, for example, what I mean by that is, when we lost to the Panthers in that final, the qualifying, we got smashed. Yeah, we got smashed. But if we had lost to the Panthers the way we lost to the Storm,
different story.
You'd be like, we got injured. It was against the Panthers, and we still almost won. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Contextually, it's not about, did we make a particular game? It's more about how have we performed in those big games? Because one thing I realized about us in 2025, about the Bulldogs in 2025, was in a lot of the big games, we'll poopy ourselves. Against the Panthers, that one where we lost 8-6 or whatever it was, that was the only game I felt like we took it to them, even though it was a pressure game. But every other pressure game, I felt the Broncos, the Sharks at the end, where we needed to prove ourselves in the 2 finals games. That Storm game, I think we gave a good account of ourselves. But other than that, I feel like we weren't really showing up for the big games. right? Except, so maybe before Origin we were, but then after that we sort of stopped showing up for the big games. And I want us to show up for the big games, and I want us to show up for the finals. If we go in round one and first the Roosters, the Broncos, the Panthers, all right, and it's 12-10 and we lose, gonna be car that we lost because we would have probably deserved to win. But you'll be like, bro, that was a mad finals game, one of the best I've watched. I'm happy with that. Then we go into round two and we verse another team that's literally on fire and we lose by golden point. Like, that's a success for me, right? Even though it would be heartbreaking, but that's a success because we played very well against a team that was on fire, for example.
You're getting the tough games out of the way, and it's helping you prepare.
Yeah, so it's not like, we're gonna make, I think if we just looked pen and paper, it has to be prelim. But I think there's got to be a bit more context to it than just saying, I want you.
I think you've got a softer heart and you're a bit more forgiving than me. During the moment, it will make the burn a bit easier for me. Like if we lost in Golden Point, even in straight sets, lost in Golden Point, I'd be cut. Not as cut as if we got pumped 50-0.
Yeah.
But in 2 years' time, I'm going to remember lost.
No,
straight sets.
I'm with you, but I think, the context is what it's all about. Like, this is the beauty of the league, is that rugby league is like, especially if you watch the injuries that we had against Melbourne, for example. Like, we could honestly that we played better than them for, I would say, 70 minutes. I think we played better for 70 minutes.
We lost.
Melbourne were ordinary. They were ordinary.
Yeah, they were. And look, they were missing Pappenhausen. Don't get me wrong.
You guys should have had them.
They were missing Hughes.
They were ordinary.
But we also had anyway. With that, I think we've probably come to the end of the episode. For the first one of the year, I'm so happy. This has been such a great experience. We're going to get better every single week, every single episode. We're going to be improving. What we will be doing is releasing a preview, 2026 season preview for each and every single team, all 17 teams, including the Eels. It'll be an opportunity for us to shit on them for half an hour. But every single team will get a preview, and we're going to be releasing them in individual episodes. There are some massive announcements coming for the Kennel podcast over the next week or two. They will be made in due time. Be sure to subscribe to us so you don't miss out on any information. Be sure to like us or follow us on Instagram or whatever it's called, because we're going to be there. That's where a lot of the announcements will also be made. I want to say a big thank you to my co-hosts Dibbo and Zatar. Three of us here. I think the discussion was a bit more lively and entertaining. I loved it. I'm so glad that we're back. So glad that we've got our studio. Let me know what you guys think of the studio down in the comments. This is going to get so much better. Like, this is just the beginning of what we're going to be doing with our studio. This table's a bit small. We're going to get a bigger table. Some of the stuff that's up, it's going to get better. We're going to have a lot more stuff going up. There's going to be a lot of giveaways this year. There's going to be a lot of opportunities for us to actually engage directly with the fans this year. We're still going to have the lives on Tuesday. We're going to have 3 shows a week. There's so much coming to the Kennel. We're going to be talking a lot more about other things in rugby league other than just the Bulldogs. So we are going to be talking about other teams. We're going to be engaging in Supercoach. We're going to have some Supercoach chat. We're going to be obviously shitting on the Tigers because they deserve to be shit on. So much happening, and we're going to have so much coverage about Las Vegas, about everything that's happening. I cannot wait. But if you have reached the deep end with us, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking shit on camera for you guys to listen. We love it. We love the Dogs. We love rugby league. Can't wait for the season to start. I think next week is the last weekend we'll have without rugby league.
No, it starts next weekend.
It starts next weekend. The trials start.
This is the last weekend.
Oh, there's one more week.
This is the last week.
Weekend.
Starts next week.
Of time of recording, this is last Saturday.
Okay, so this is the last weekend, right? Before we have uninterrupted rugby league. I think it's like 35 weeks.
All the way through to October.
9 months, sorry. Wow.
And then we got the cricket right after.
Oh.
And the Rugby World Cup. We've got everything.
Big season coming. We're going to be covering everything. And this off-season, 2026, so leading into 2027, I promise, we will not be going on break. We'll not be taking a hiatus. We might take a week or 2 max, but we're going to be pumping content out as much as we can in the off season. But we don't have to worry about that because we've got 35 weeks of content and footy, and I cannot wait to be there with you guys the whole season. Thank you very much to my co-host. Thank you guys very much, and be sure if you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe. Thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next one.